Let's roll. All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of This Week in Pickleball. I'm Rafa.
I'm Aaron. What's up?
All right, y'all. So, Aaron, I want to start today before we get to this illustrious pile of paddles, per usual. Let's talk about the highlights of MLP. First and foremost, our hometown Dallas Flash, 2-0.
Crushing it.
Absolutely wrecking the competition. Shout out to the Flash. They are doing brilliant per usual. So the Johnsons' first two games went 22-0, two straight pickles.
Yeah.
In their first two games.
Sick.
That's nuts. What do you think makes them so good?
Chemistry. I don't know. I mean, it's nice that they played together last year. They practiced together at the same facility, you know, as brother, sister, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah. They're brilliant. They're so... do you think they'll beat Ben and Anna Lee more times this year?
Yes.
Yeah?
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
He says with authority, with certainty. That's nuts. I kind of agree with you, though. I think, yeah, they've got that extra stuff. Georgia's got that sauce. She's so good. What else? Oh, okay. So I made a note about this in the last pod, but we were talking about the Vatic Pro Sagas, and you mentioned the V7, and you were like, if it's good enough for Gladiator Gut, it's good enough for me. Right afterwards, we saw the Instagram post that Augie was playing with a Yola Pro 4.
So sad. I was devastated.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's okay. He's Augie, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can do no wrong.
Yeah.
But realistically, if you're getting an endless supply of those Yola paddles, go ahead, you know?
Yeah. So you're saying that, like, if money wasn't a factor, do you think it makes sense playing Pro 4s over his old
for
pals?
sure. I mean, I really do think that for, you know, a month at a time, all of the Yolas that I've hit were really good paddles, like top tier paddles. But if you don't have like infinite supplies of money and you don't want to continue to have to warranty them, like I would core crush quite often. You know, I have a friend who was using his Agassi. He core crushed his in a week, you know, so it's bang for your buck. It's tough.
Yeah.
I have a hard time recommending it unless you're willing to just cycle through $280, or if you're sponsored, or if you got a plug, you know?
For sure. I think right now Vatic Pro is just so up there with the value proposition. I mean, their most premium paddles are $130, and they're very solid. And yeah, especially when it comes to the prisms, they're Gen 1, so they're not going to break on you as fast. They're not as powerful. But again, the value proposition of their durability is much higher than Yola. But no, I'm 100%. I'm a little biased due to my paddle that I'm maining, which we'll do updates on at the end. But yeah, the Yola paddles, they play better. The thing is, do they play 3 times better than the Prism, for example?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could make that argument, especially to like the average player. 280 is a lot.
Power-wise, they're kind of unrivaled.
Yeah.
But what I tell a lot of people is that if you don't really have issues generating your own power, I would stick to an all-court paddle, because when I think back to most of the points that I lose, it's not because I couldn't hit the ball hard enough. It's probably because I put the ball into the net off of a drop or a bad dink, or I popped it up. And if I pop up balls, it's typically because the paddle was too poppy, right? Or had too much power.
Right.
So I think all court is probably a better paddle for most people.
Yeah, 100%. I'd agree. It's power paddles is really... There's either a certain level of high skill or a certain level of low skill that's required to use a power paddle. It's either you solely rely on shot making, your movement is bad, And so when you get to the ball, you need to try to hit winners. Or again, at the highest level, it takes a high level of precision to beat a really good player. If you don't know, if you don't know how to use a power paddle, you're not beating any high level player. So you've got to have your touch really well dialed in. Yeah, that's just the long and short. But yeah, sad to see Augie go. And then the only other thing that I really found interesting from the tournament, the Hayden versus Annalie. What are your thoughts on that?
I like it.
Yeah.
Bring the fire.
You're on board.
It's great.
Yeah. Do you think Hayden was out of line saying what he said?
Maybe a little bit, but in the heat of competition, it happens. And you have to remember they're still pretty young, you know? They're both under 20.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm with you there. I think for me it was the timing. Like saying that during the match, again, I don't know if I'm fully on board with him saying that in general. I felt like this particularly, like targeted. I don't know.
It was so funny. I saw memes of pickleball where I was like, Fed was like, oh, Hayden's copying me, I see. But yeah.
Learning from his buddy.
Yeah.
No, but for me, yeah, again, it came down to the timing because they lost the match. And then afterwards, he's like, oh, you're a fucking bitch. It's like, dude, I love the fire. I actually think the drama is good. I think that is
I think it is. I mean, that's the main difference between MLP and PPA, right?
Yes.
So
yeah, like there's trash talking in PPA, but we don't get a lot. We only see it on like the replays of like the backcourt.
Yeah,
and it's like memes of pickleball goes through and finds it and is like, dude, like what was it? It was like Deckel and Tyson playing like Brandon French and somebody else, and they were just like chatting it up in the backcourt. Like I love that. I need to see that on center court more often.
It's fun. Makes good entertainment.
It really is. We need more Brandon French out there. I think he's reliably somebody who talks crap a lot, and I love it. But yeah, in the end, like you lose the match and you choose that particular time to like throw out like your worst insult. It's like, you got to win. I like in the end, trash talking is always going to be better and always going to for me, just make things more entertaining. But you kind of look dumb in the end. Like when you go out, you lose the match. I don't think they've ever beaten Annalie. I don't think he ever has.
I don't know.
Like if my memory serves me right, like somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. I don't think he's ever beaten Annalie. And so I just want to see him back the results up. He is a fantastic player. I want to see the results back it up so that we can sort of justify the trash talk a bit more. That's my opinion. But anyways, fun recap there. Now let's get into what everybody's here for. Let's get into the paddles here and the tier lists that we made yesterday here. That tier list goes up on my Instagram. It'll probably go up reliably every Thursday, which is the last time that we hit before we record these. So guys, follow me on Instagram, Pickleball Tech Dude. Follow Aaron Tom _pickleball as well. The tier list will be on both of our accounts there. We're going to start off here. Introduction of a new shape. Selkirk has had a MAXIMA in the past, but it was not this shape. This, if I remember right, this used to be the Epic, and then they changed the Epic shape and made this the MAXIMA.
The MAXIMA used to be like the 006 shape, the like lollipop top, the rounded top. I think.
Wasn't that the Tool, or was it first the MAXIMA? And
or was it Tour?
They called it the Tour on the 006, and then the Tour they changed again. They're everywhere with the shaping. I really can't even with them. Now, the MAXIMA, what did you think about this?
It was honestly the best one out of, I think, all of the Project 008s I played.
Yeah.
Sweet spot was huge.
Yeah.
And resets were great. Not a power paddle by any means, but it felt super balanced. I think you can play it stock.
I think you can play it stock too. I think maybe I would put like top corners of the top just for the power, because like you said, no power whatsoever, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in terms of consistency and feel, and like the dwell, the plushness, it felt good.
I wish there was a little bit more grit.
Yes.
But for some reason, on this thickness, I didn't have a problem feeling the ball, which I normally do when we've traditionally talked about these Gen 4-ish solid foam core paddles.
Yeah.
So
I think maybe it's just because we had bigger surface area, so more room for that ball to actually sink in. Like when you decrease the surface area, the ball feel starts to feel more consistent everywhere on the face, which I think we perceive as like that difficulty feeling the ball in different shots. This one, you can actually tell, hey, I hit a drop versus I hit a drive.
Yeah.
Exactly like you said, which is
but it's so pillowy. You're drop and drive are the same speed. Not really, but yeah.
Basically, you're not wrong. But yeah, would you? So I think before today, you'd probably say the 10 millimeter Invicta is your favorite.
Yeah.
Would you take this over the 10 mil Invicta?
Probably.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I might agree. How do you think this would perform at like a 10 millimeter thickness? Do you think they should do a 10 mil Maxima?
No.
No?
No, I mean, it's a control paddle. I don't need more pop out of a control paddle, you know?
You know what? That's very fair. That's very fair. Yeah. But this was very solid. Again, it is 288, just like the rest of them. So price wise, I think is where it went down for us. We both put this paddle in the category of would get, but at a steep discount. So that will take that into account. It is 288. We said in a previous pod that it was 333. I made it correct. If whoever gets something wrong, by the way, I make corrections in the comments. So check out those if you hear something in the pods. You're like, I don't know if that's quite right.
We're wrong a lot.
We are wrong, not a lot. We are wrong sometimes.
Sometimes.
But we do get things wrong. So, but anyways, yeah, 288 would definitely get at a discount if you're looking for a really one of the better control paddles I've hit this year, like by far.
Yes.
Easily. All right. Moving on. Let's get to this one. This paddle has not gotten a lot of chit chat. This is the Ace 1. This is going to be a new budget paddle coming from Ace. I call it a budget paddle. They market it as of course, just like every company should, market it as like plays like a higher level paddle, which I actually kind of agreed with. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, the paddle itself plays great. I wish, again, more spin, but really good power, really good feel off the ball. The only problem is the paddle feels really cheap.
It does.
Like construction-wise, it feels cheap.
For sure. Yeah, I think we made a comment about the handle. The handle does definitely feel a little bit on the cheaper side. Yeah. There's obviously
the grip for me felt really plasticky.
Oh yes, you did say that.
So I said it reminded me kind of how like the original Proton grips felt.
Yeah.
Where it didn't feel like it was made by a company that is used to making like high quality replacement grips.
For sure. Yeah. I should probably unwrap this stock grip. We might see some exposed polymer here on the bottom, on the sides, which is given that plasticky feel. I think for me, where you notice sort of the budget nature of paddles like this is in the branding. So I'm all for like minimal clean. I've always thought that Ace's branding on their paddles was sick. Like just like it makes that every paddle makes sense. It looks like a card. Like you can clearly see where they're going. On this paddle in particular, you've got, the unbranded edge guard, which, I mean, Vatic does that too, but unbranded edge guard, unbranded like holder here on the grip, unbranded butt cap. This is what really gets me.
It's like old school Franklin butt cap.
Yeah. On budget paddles, the number one way you can tell that they're budget is that they have no branding on the butt cap. That's like one of the number one things that I see. Similar with like the thing that holds the grip here. But yeah, like you said, I think that power-wise, very solid. It feels, I haven't gotten a response back just yet. I'm probably going to check my phone afterwards and see it, but I haven't gotten a response back about the construction style. It feels Gen 1 cold pressed. It gives me like
But it hits hard.
It hits hard. It gives me cheap paddle tech vibes.
Really? I didn't know if it felt exactly like a paddle tech. I think it came. I felt like there was a little bit more dwell time, or no, the opposite. I think paddle tech had a little bit more dwell time than this one.
So
But
I think
I liked it.
I agree. I think feel wise, it doesn't give me, like you said, yeah, it doesn't give me that same dwell. I think it was just in terms of like the power, and I can sort of hit something and kind of feel in general when it's Gen 1 constructed. It just gave me that same vibe. The probable difference is that Paddletech uses those 10 millimeter cell diameters, and this one probably doesn't. So that's probably where you get that like decreased dwell.
I do think it is unibody because I'm pressing into the handle and I don't feel any exposed polymer gaps. So
maybe it's the inserts.
Maybe
the type of inserts they use might just feel a bit cheaper.
Yeah, but I'm pushing in. I feel nothing.
Yeah,
it's solid. So.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
I'll unwrap it and confirm, and I'll also confirm whether like the construction style. But I liked it. You said what? So let's start off with how much you thought this paddle costed.
Just because I had no clue about the paddle, I thought they were trying to sell for, $150 to that $180 price range.
Yeah.
And I probably would not buy it at that price range.
Yeah. Tell me realistically what you would buy this at retail after hitting it.
Maybe like $90.
Yeah, right. Like that 90, 100.
Yeah, I mean, like it's definitely better than like the original Franklins that like Ben Johns used to play with.
Yeah.
Right. So I would pay at least that.
100%. 100%. Yeah. No, yeah. I think I fully price range is exactly the same. I would think that after hitting other similar paddles, I would expect them to be retailing this for, like that 160 to 180 plus range. Not over 200, not there, but definitely in that like little range. And then it plays just like with the high level performance of any other like $100, $110 range paddle. They are going to retail this for $40. That is one of the steals of the year. It probably is the steal of the year by far.
Budget paddle of the year, $40.
Yeah. Candidate for sure. Probably front runner.
You can get angry so many times and chuck a paddle and still be okay.
Exactly.
Just kidding. I'm reformed.
No, you're not.
I'm super reformed.
No, you can't. Once you start, you can never go back. Okay. It's you're $40. I mean,
no, it's a really good paddle.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier about like unlimited budget. I mean, again, doing the math, this is what 6 times less cost than Gearbox, Yola, Paddletech.
Is it out already?
I don't believe it's out yet.
Okay,
it's coming soon though.
I don't see any USAP or UPA stamp.
Very true.
So,
from my understanding, could be probably pursuing USAP approval, not UPA for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, that for $40, pretty impressive.
Would buy
for sure. Going in that pile. We both put that in top tier list. Now let's get to what we promised from last week. The SAGA Flash 14. So last week we hit the V7s and the Bloom. Now we have the Flash. What did you think about this in comparison to the Bloom and the V7?
Better. Which is weird because I normally like the elongated, fatter shapes, but I don't know. The swing weight on this was really nice, and it's just a great paddle. I don't know. It's just solid. Yeah, there's just I get that feeling a lot from Vatic Pro hitting their paddles. It's just every time you hit it, it's like it's hard to say anything is bad about it. This is an all-rounder. Unless it was the Oni.
Yeah,
that was awful.
I love the Oni still. Just the power level. So good. Yeah, but I think what I personally found interesting about my own personal preference here is that I typically prefer the long handle paddles. Like the Bloom doesn't have a long handle, but the V7, I take the long handle all day. I preferred the short handle Flash, which I think you did too. You always prefer the short handle one.
I always prefer short.
In my opinion, it was because if you're going for the Flash, you're wanting a hybrid level of like flick, like hand speed at the net, as well as plow through the drives. If you want 100% plow through, you go V7. If you want 100% hand speed, you go Bloom. But if you want a hybrid of both, you go for this. If you go long handle Flash, you're losing that hand speed, in my opinion, to a significant degree. So that's why I preferred the short handle if you're going to go Flash.
Yeah. You can be way more whippy.
Way more whippy. Like, way more. And again, still $130. Still have the holographic black
Team
design.
Hollow, let's go.
Team Hollow, as opposed to the orange on the 16 mil. I didn't mind the 16 mil Flash that at all when I hit it either. I just found it to be more all court.
They definitely feel different.
They feel different.
Way different.
This feels more firm.
Firm, not as poppy, actually.
Not as poppy.
Even though would you say this feels more all court than the other one, the 16 millimeter?
More all court? I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No,
Okay.
I would. Their power level can't be that different.
It's not different, but for some reason, the original SAGA, the 16 millimeter, it had a very different feel.
Yeah.
Right? This feels like familiar.
Yes.
But the other one was something completely different.
Familiar how? Like
familiar.
Every other paddle, or
not every other paddle, but more similar to like the paddles that, like it's not paddle tech different in terms of feel.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
and I felt the SAGA 16 millimeter and the paddle tech very similar because like you can tell the difference in the core size or the cell size. This one, it doesn't necessarily feel like the cell size is that much more dense, but the paddle itself doesn't let the ball just like shoot off the paddle like the original SAGA did.
Yes. Yeah. I am inclined to agree. I think that the firmness of this is probably the biggest difference to the 16. I wouldn't say the power is super different. I wouldn't say the hand speed's super different. I don't think that the overall build quality is very different, as it shouldn't be. It's just a different, core size. But overall, that like firmness to me translates to a slightly more consistent hitting area. I'm almost inclined to say. And yeah, like you said, something about the 16 mils felt not powerful, but poppy. These are straying more towards still not powerful, maybe slightly more, but not much more, but also less poppy and a bit more controllable, especially at the net.
You ever see some paddles and you're like, oh, I want to press into the core to see like if it's core crushed?
Yeah.
I feel like these won't core crush. For some reason. I don't know why, but the way it felt doesn't ever feel like the paddle is going to get overly like powerful to the point where it's like, oh, I need to press into the core to see if it's cracking, you know?
For sure. I mean, these are Gen 1.5 constructed technically. But yeah, every single time that I have held a Vatic Pro, not just these, but in general, the build quality always feels extremely solid. I mean, I have my men's doubles partner has been playing with his Prism for well over a year, and he probably plays more than I do. So yeah, I think if anything, again, 130 for simply the build quality and the level of control that you get with the 14. I take the 14 over the 16, like across the lineup at this point. And these flashes are just kind of cover their bases. They've got wide body, elongated, hybrid, and they're all pretty damn good. Yeah.
Agreed.
Would buy at retail. We both said that.
Yes.
And that is that. So now let's go to the most interesting paddles of the day. I want to put these in a particular order here.
So we'll do that first.
Let's start with what I'm going to call the normal ones. So we've got here, these are Volairs paddles. They are like only USAP approved. They are currently on sale. They're ambassador exclusives for 140 right now. So these are Gen 2 constructed. It's got like a purple PET weave to them. I think the purple is badass.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, Volair, if anything, if nothing else, makes really sick face designs. Like they had the pure black on the original fours, like Mach 1 and 2 and whatnot. The Kevlar paddles, I don't know if you ever saw those, but they were like green and blue with like electricity looking design on them. I thought design wise.
Yeah, and then they
very
came out
sick.
with that like yellowish green monstrosity that just hides the ball when you hit it.
I like the yellow green monstrosity. I like the design. Again, another design banger. Now, my thing with these is that solid, but not very different from anything else.
Yeah. It feels like almost every other paddle, but it has nice grit.
It does have nice. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, these are the interesting thing about these, and I actually need to do this on some other paddles now. I forget that it's a thing where some companies will raise the grit in one direction and then reduce it in the other. USAP has rules now where they measure grit in all directions to prevent that. But on some paddles like this one, the grit feels pretty consistent going both directions, which is good. And it's not something that I felt on other paddles.
Yeah. Good handle, good length. I mean, standard shape paddle, or standard, not standard shape, but standard hybrid shape.
Standard hybrid shape.
Yeah.
Regular hybrid shape paddle. Yeah. This is definitely, this is their traditional wide body. If you play the Mach 2s, that's pretty much what this is. But yeah. Oh, it's
storming
outside.
Yeah,
I don't know if y'all probably won't hear because I'm going to edit the audio and post up. It's bumping here at Pickleball Kingdom. I don't know if I seen it this busy, like in an early afternoon
Friday,
session. Yeah, it's nuts. I don't know how I'm gonna get outside, but
it's okay.
Yeah, it gives me sleepy vibes. I like being indoors in the rain. It just like makes me just wanna like. I wish I had a fireplace in my apartment. It's
okay.
Just conk out. But yeah, no, they're solid. They're really good. Didn't find a lot of faults. You didn't like how cushiony the grips felt. I like how cushiony they feel.
If you can like, there's a lot of compression into the grip. Like it's really cushiony on these grips. And so for some reason, I feel like if I ever squeezed a little bit too tight on a ball, I felt like the paddle was going to break in the handle because I could feel it compress in my hand as like this way, you know?
Interesting. I think I have some
almost like a flex.
Gotcha. I need to fix this about myself, but I a lot of times don't hold my grip firm enough. So for me, just the way that I hold it, the cushion is a lot of added comfort for me. It doesn't take away a lot from the ball feel. I would say this still has like traditional Gen 2 vibes, like regular ball feel. But overall, the extra cushion to me, extra comfort. But I guess in your case, like you mentioned, if you hold this a little tight, you feel like the face is going to move differently from the handle. So I kind of get what you're saying. Yeah. And with that these are solid. These are okay. For 140 as an ambassador exclusive, I think that's a decent price.
Would buy.
I put these into my would buy at MSRP for that. I think they are going to retail for 180 ? So, and that I think is fine. I think that's normal.
Good bang for your buck.
Yeah. Bang for buck? I don't know.
So.
You think bang for buck?
So.
Why?
Because they look sick. They're purple. Okay, now we're not paying that much for the purple because you have a discount code. You're always going to use a discount code. So you're not actually paying 180, right?
I mean, sure, but again, for me, it's just because they felt so similar to everything else out there. That I'm like, bang for buck, no. Good value, maybe. Like,
good value.
Good value.
I kind of compare most of these paddles to 280. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
So if someone shows up to this and I'm coaching them in a lesson, I wouldn't be like, hey, you should probably get a new paddle, you know?
Right.
Because if they had one of these, they'd be like, yeah.
what do you think is like the average price of a paddle right now? Like a performance paddle? Like what would you just estimate it to be? Because I don't know the answer either.
What do you mean? Like if
It's like taking into account all the way to Selkirk 007, all the way down to, you know, Vatic Prism.
I bet you the average price. So if I'm looking around in here, the average price per quart of paddle is probably around $220.
You know what? You actually, this is a good point, and I might fully agree with you. And that is so wild because I'm pretty sure even last year, the average was probably like 160 to what, like 170. And now,
Because
yeah.
I see a lot. So like, I see a bunch of quarts where it's like one side, both paddles are under $200, right? You're paying like that 160-ish range.
Yeah.
And then you look at other courts where the people on the other side are like, 3 of them are playing on Yolas, right? So what, 280?
Yeah.
But 280, 250.
True
like,
foam there, so that's a 280.
Yeah, and then like a one, whatever the diadem edge is, right? That's gotta be, at least now, I know they're running like a 20% off sale or whatever, but that's gotta be like 160 or something, you know?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Reasonably priced paddle there. No, but yeah. I didn't even think to do that, and this is a great like exercise in like the average paddle price, just looking out into the market. It's like a Selkirk Lux over there that's over 200.
Uh-huh.
Is
And then you
that
got like a Friday paddle, right? So Friday paddle, $100. You have a Paddle Tech, and then you have a Vatic. Or no, that's a 6.0.
Yeah,
so
it's 6.0 is over 200 too. Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, price range wise, I think the Friday paddles are technically like 50 because they run that like
Special, cheaper,
100.
yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, no, that's wild. So okay, in that case,
Bang
I
for buck is good.
I could say bang for buck on these. If we're looking at an average 200 to 220, let me know. Again, another question in the comments. What do y'all think the average price of a paddle is nowadays that you see on the courts? I am inclined to say that it's over 200 now, which is awful. No paddle, especially when so many paddles over 200 are durable enough to cost more than $200. That's unfortunate, but that is unfortunately the world we live in. Now, moving on to the last paddles of the day, I need y'all to not laugh. If you need a laugh, pause the video and continue to laugh. I think you and I both sat down and laughed for multiple minutes at these paddles. So these are just the the XL, the long handle adjacent to the hybrid and the wide body paddles here from Volair. This handle length is nuts.
It's got to be over 6. It's like 6'2" or something.
This is more than 6 inches of handle. The wide body looks so stupid. I'm so sorry. This is contender for worst design I have ever laid my eyes on.
This is very like, what is it? Pulse Apes?
Yeah, the Pickleball Apes.
Pickleball Apes.
It wasn't the Pulse. It was the. Is it the Sin? Not the Sin.
I don't know.
The first one they came out with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like red.
It is similar to that one. It's also similar to like the racket. The Crush racket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, look, Aaron's showing here. You can put it up. Yeah, that's the comparison of like the two paddles that are the two hybrid paddles. One with just the longer handle.
So
one
like
without.
if you play like a standard shape paddle, the hybrid shape paddles are normally like almost an inch longer in length.
Yeah.
And so this thing here is about, another maybe almost an inch taller than the hybrid shape.
I think it's a 17-inch long paddle. So very similar shape to the apes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't mind these. I actually, performance-wise, I am shocked to say I don't mind them.
They're good. Like if you close your eyes, you just kind of like hit with the ball or the paddle. You couldn't tell that the shape looked like this. Like I don't know, like a battle axe of some sort.
This is just so bad. Obviously, not enough room for two hands. I'm kidding. more than enough room for probably enough room for 3
Yeah.
hands, depending on the size of your hand size.
Let's go. Can you fit a hand on here?
I can. Oh, that's.
Oh
Honestly,
yeah.
if I go stack above the one finger behind, this is enough for 3 hands.
Yeah. No one's ever seen the 3-handed backhand before.
Oh my god. This is like the heaviest wide body I've ever played with. I don't even know if I can still call this a wide body because like the dimensions are so off. But yeah, I'm shocked to say that it felt pretty solid. Like the balance again, head heavy, balanced high, but you need that with the long handle because otherwise you're gonna hit it like right here on the throat where you're used to hitting the paddle. So it's designed and balanced. Okay, it's balanced well. It's designed horribly. I really, really hate this.
Where did you place these paddles?
I put these at the very bottom. You could not pay me to play with these. It is, I will be upfront, it is purely an aesthetics decision. I cannot be seen outside playing with this paddle. You put this into would pay retail for.
Yeah, for sure. No, I would play with these at a slight discount.
Okay.
Right? But I would play with them. Just because it's like at one point, no one's gonna steal your paddle because of the way it looks. And 2, imagine pulling up to like open play with this guy and you're like winning games with something that looks like this.
Yeah. So yours is more for like the clout. Like if you beat somebody with this and it's like, I just beat you with the ugly, with a Minecraft.
Yeah. With
tool
a Minecraft sword. Yeah.
Versus, yeah. And also they should definitely market this anti-theft technology, anti-theft design. But yeah, this is so ugly. I can't be seen with this. I put this at the very bottom. Performance wise, it's fine. It's there. If you want to clown people that you're playing against, then you can go for this one.
Down to clown.
Yeah, or if you have, if you're an NBA player and your hand size is just massive, then this is like it's a solid option. You don't get a lot of long handle paddles like this that actually feel solid to hit. I will give them credit where credit is due. But I really just can't with these. Okay. That takes care of our full paddle stack for today. So the last thing that we're going to address is it is the first pod of May. So you're going to see updates probably elsewhere of what paddle that we are maining for this month. But let's go ahead and give the viewers an inside exclusive. So on 3, we are going to go ahead and pull out what paddles that we are going to be maining this month. So we are going to do so in 3, 2, 1. Bang. Aaron, what have you got?
The Mark Unmarked.
The Mark Unmarked.
I have 3 of them.
3 of them. That's how much you're maining it. You've got 3 of them.
Yeah.
So that's your paddle choice. Again, if you didn't see my review, I don't know what you're doing, but go watch it. Aaron features in it. That is going to be renamed the Mark II R2 once the paddles of this design run out, which this design is really sick.
I like the design. I like the gradient. I like the blank face on it. And then like this kind of almost pickleball looking thing over here.
Yeah.
I think it's a great looking paddle. So I don't know what else you can add to it.
It is nice. I've seen glimpses of what the new design is going to look like. We can't share those yet, unfortunately.
Better or worse?
I think it looks better. It's better in my opinion. I haven't always been on board with how minimal this is. But if you're a minimalist, this is probably your last chance to get this paddle because there's probably like less than 100 units left and it's probably going to sell out. And use Adam's code at Marketplace, ATOM8. Go use that code there as well if you haven't already. And now for me, we're sticking with it 3 months in a row. The Yola Agassi Pro 14 millimeter. I personally, Aaron, what's your weight setup on the Mark?
There.
That's literally it.
That's it.
That's all you put on it. My weight setup was a little more extensive just to bring the balance down, but you don't need a lot of it. for me, I've got 2 grams of tungsten tape going right basically where the foam and the difference between the foam and then the perimeter, like what's it called? The Tech Flex, and then I forget what this is called. The TFP, TF something.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, wait, that's Tech Flex. The propulsion core. So basically in the gap where those aren't, that's where I put my lead. I would maybe I'll probably throw an Ethos undergrip on this just to bring bounce down a little bit more. And
Do
also,
you like those?
I really like them.
Really?
I really, really like them. I hate Hessicores.
I mean, I don't like either of them. I think they're so weird.
I hate Hessicores. They are so heavy and they are just so bulky. The Ethos grips, they feel ergonomic, like they're supposed to feel. Like they actually feel like I have a natural place to like put my hands. And for me personally, the Agassi doesn't have great bevels here. So that also emphasizes where the bevels are on the handle so that I can, really fix my
I
grip.
feel like there's a place for your fingertips, but I don't necessarily know if there's a place for my hand on the Hessicore or on any of these grips. I just find them weird. I want my hand to be like in complete, like, contact with the grip.
Okay.
For some reason, it just doesn't feel like it with those.
All right, Mr. Purist. Well, I still like the Ethos grips. I will never play a Hessicore ever, but the Ethos grips also got Bodhi grip right here on the handle.
And the tungsten tape.
Per usual, and Bodhi tungsten tape. So yeah, it's probably my favorite setup. Bodhi is a local now, so
Let's see this guy.
definitely had some time to use that.
He's playing the 14 millimeter, not the 16.
The 14.
Yeah.
I don't do the 16. The 14 just has better control, in my opinion. 16 feels a little bit less predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I will always use that. 3 months in now for me on that one. I'm really enjoying it.
Did the shape grow on you?
The shape the shape has still not grown on me aesthetically. Do not compare those two. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Third and final question in the comments: which shape is uglier, the Agassi shape or this monstrosity here from Volair?
Yeah.
Alrighty. All right. Well, that wraps up. These are our new month-old main for the both of us, to use the words of Pickleball Pursuit.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's going to wrap us up here. So appreciate you guys tuning in once again. Remember to like, subscribe, and respond to all of our questions today that we had. Any thoughts you had on anything we discussed, we love to read through them and respond to those comments, of course. So with all that being said, I'm going to see if I can stay somehow dry in that rain heading out.
Good luck.
I'll need it. And I hope you all stay happy and healthy. And of course, out on the courts. Until the next one. Peace.
Nice.
Easy money.
I wonder if other people do like multiple takes.
I don't think they do.
Just like